Welcome to the Temple of Flame. On today, Faith Black Lights, we take a look at this. And what this is from Butterfly Bakery of Vermont. It is the Vermont Habs hot sauce. Oh, that's a cute logo. A bee with a bite taken out of it. And a butterfly over the top. Very cool. All right, so we've got, what do we have here? All right, so this apparently are habaneros grown in Vermont just for them. We're calling it pretty darn hot. So they use a 6 pepper scale. They're calling it 5 of 6. So that would put it at between a 7 and 8 for me. And I would not say it's that hot. Certainly. So we've got red habaneros grown within 200 miles of their Vermont kitchen. And they've got organic distilled white vinegar and salt. So this, I thought this was going to be a much thicker sauce than it actually is. And I don't know why I thought that. But I did. And what this really is, in a lot of ways, is basically a Louisiana style, only pulling out the cayennes and putting in the Vermont Habs, or at least, I don't know if they're grown actually in Vermont or just within a 200-mile radius, so it could be in one of the neighboring states, I suppose. But you can see there is a slight, it's slightly thicker than I think most of the Louisiana-style sauces run. Just a tad thicker. It looks like it's got more pulp in it from the peppers. It is a very, very nice color. Sort of, I guess, reddish orange. Let's get in the spoon, take a look at it. And here we are, looking very lovely, I must say. It definitely is not the brilliant red that you see with a lot of the Louisiana style. Definitely more of an orange red, I would say. Still looks lovely, though. I quite like how this sauce looks. Yeah, I mean, it flows nicely. There's no xanthan gum in it. There's no other emulsifiers or other chemical agents in it. So it is something that needs to be agitated for sure. But let's get on into it here. Very delightful mouthfeel to it. You can definitely get a lot of the sweetness and fruitiness of the red habaneros. I've said it innumerable times that red habaneros for me are the best habaneros. I think that almost is always true for pretty much any pepper. But with habaneros in particular, the difference is very pronounced. Red habaneros, I've always had a fondness for them. I haven't really enjoyed orange and green habaneros particularly. In fact, I think oranges are kind of overrated. But the reds, I have always had a pretty definite affinity for. And it's because they're fully developed by that point. They're fully ripe. And I think that is really where the habaneros kind of need to be. So you don't get that sort of bitterish taste to them. It's almost all entirely smoothed out with the reds. And the reds tend to be a little bit hotter as well. So definitely win, 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 win. Win of all worlds. One of the things I really like about this is that I don't have the dreaded habanero aftertaste. It's very clean, very smooth. I quite like this. There's a lot of subtleties to this, though. So this sauce is, I mean, you can see you got a lot of the pulp just sticking to the neck there. But there's a lot of subtleties to this sauce that, depending on what you pair it with, can get lost a little bit as well. It's a very interesting sort of entry out there. If you spend a lot of time with very vinegar forward sauces like Cajuns or Louisiana style. Louisiana style, as I've said a number of times now, is one of, if not my most favorite style of sauce. It's the one style of sauce that I always have a bottle on hand, always. And maybe Sweet Hots actually might be my favorite overall, because I do like me a good Sweet Hot. But the Louisiana style, like, it's kind of one of those condiments that I feel like there's something wrong if I don't have it. Like a mustard, maybe a mayo or a ketchup for some people, a barbecue sauce, you know, or a soy sauce or whatever. It's the Louisiana style hot sauce is as much of a staple to me as those other sauces may be to others. So we got this. The Arby's Meat and 3. We have this. I find this honestly quite goofy. I don't know what to make of this. So we have this idea that you can get a sandwich and a drink and 3 sides for $8. And it's a small drink, a small fries, and you get this. This came with I've already eaten up on the drive back 2 of the 3 sides. But you get their sandwich, you get this attractive box, you get 2 cheese sticks, one of the peach cobbler things. I'll talk about those in a second. And like I said, a small drink and a small fries. It's not, honestly, for $8, it's not the worst deal in the world. Honestly, it's not bad. I just find it really kind of hilarious that they have this sleeve, that sleeve, the sleeve of fries. It generates so much trash. It's like just so much. We have this box. We don't have the bag. We have this handy dandy box right here, and it's really entertaining to me, I guess. But I do appreciate them trying to make nice. So we've got, look at this. This is a chicken patty that comes on here. This is a crispy chicken patty. I have had Arby's in other videos, and you've seen it. It's been larger than the bun. Very, very clearly, they decided to do away with that. Hopefully, it's actual real chicken and not the sponge chicken, the compressed chicken. So the peach cobbler, I'm going to sauce this up while I'm chit-chatting here. The peach cobbler is this sort of egg roll thing. But the problem with peaches is that if you chop peaches up, if you dice them up like you would, for instance, a apple, like if you're making an apple fritter. If you would have told me that was an apple cobbler instead of a peach cobbler, I probably would not have doubted it. When you chop up peaches that fine and overcook them and process them to that extent, and you use the same spices that you might use on an apple pie, it gets very difficult to distinguish that it is supposed to be a peach instead of apple. Peach, if you make them too small, you lose a lot of the peach flavor and characteristics, which is unfortunate. Okay, so we also have the cheese sticks. I saved those. Like I wouldn't put this on fries. Obviously, I wouldn't put it on a peach cobbler or in a Coke Zero. But these fried cheese sticks. Their cheese sticks to me are quite bland. These are actually, so these are smaller, and they have a narrower circumference than they have in the past. They used to be about yay, and they used to be probably 2 of these put together. So you go, okay, well, they're giving you 5 items for $8, which is true, but it's packaged in all this. You just have all like this. 2 of these for this gigantic sleeve. It's more smoke and mirrors. Anyway, let's see how this does on cheese sticks. It gets lost. It's so weird to me that happens. For as vinegar forward as it is, this sauce should not be getting lost, and it keeps happening. It's a really lovely sauce, but it doesn't. It's not forceful enough. It's not forthcoming enough. I do like it a lot. I like the flavor of this pretty considerably. I just wish it stuck around more. Well, it doesn't. Oh. It does appear that they use real chicken, but it's like I wonder if they changed the breading. This is kind of funky. There's that kid that does the fast food reviews. He's always in a suit, slick back hair, and all that. You know, he just said fuck it to the whole thing. He's like, I'm not even gonna bother with the meat in 3. But, you know, this reminds me actually of what fast food sometimes used to be. Where you would get really questionable stuff a lot of the times. And they wonder why nobody wants to go to fast food anymore. I mean, is this gonna save Arby's? Nope. It surely will not. I don't think it's a bad idea, but you very transparently downgraded everything. But I was kind of curious about the peach cobbler egg roll thing. I shouldn't call it an egg roll. I don't think there's egg rolls in it, but it is in that wrapper, like the egg roll wrapper. And you get 2 of those little tiny things. They're like half the size of an egg roll. 2 of those tiny things for $3. So So you're saying out of that $8, $1.50 is one of those? So I think for what's here, it's not a great deal, but I don't think it's too far off the mark from being priced somewhat appropriately. Not a bad deal. Not a good deal. Just more reasonable. Put it that way. More reasonable than anything else. Nothing really stands out one way or the other to me. Other than, I mean, it's yeah. I mean, there's better and worse deals. It's just kind of reasonable. Assuming you like Arby's. Some people don't, I guess. This sauce, so the character, the flavor notes, and the identity of this sauce definitely got lost there. But what it did was it melded and combined with the mayo in the way I was hoping. That it didn't impart a lot of its own characteristics to it. It just made everything better. One of the best uses, I think, of this sauce, and the Hot Ones collab with Jersey Mike's. Wait, was it Jersey Mike's? No, it wasn't. It was it Firehouse? Yeah, Firehouse. The collab with Firehouse and Hot Ones, I thought it really showcased how the Hot Ones classic garlic Fresno was a fantastic sub sandwich condiment. This as well, very much so. You can't go wrong putting this on. Just throw the vinegar out. Use this. Or, use that other one, I guess, if you have that. This one imparts just such a wonderful flavor and a hint of sweetness to things. It does nicely with that cream. So the creaminess of that mayo and the heaviness of the deep fried, both the cheese stick and the it was quite good on the cheese stick as well, but both the cheese stick and the deep fried chicken patty, this went really, really well with. This is it's another excellent sauce from Butterfly Bakery overall. I just wish it was somewhat more forceful when I use it. I guess is the way I'll leave it. I really feel like, and that's why I guess I get a little disappointed in that aspect of it, because it is such a wonderfully flavorful sauce. It brings that nice bit of, I think Red Habanero's really, this is one of their best showings. I think this puts them in one of the best possible lights. This is in collaboration with somebody. I can't quite read what that is on the cap, but it puts the Red Habaneros, I think, in just habaneros in general, just in one of their best possible settings. And there's just high quality ingredients here without a lot of adornment. And when you combine it with something like that, you start to make a little magic. Like, you start to take that sandwich, I would probably have struggled with very considerably, honestly, to try to eat it without something like this. There's not a lot of chicken sauce. There's very few chicken sandwiches, actually, that I would consider eating without something like this, to be fair. Probably Popeyes the spicy one is, and the ghost pepper one is probably the only two. Actually, you know what? Their regular one as well. So outside of Popeyes, there really probably isn't a whole bunch of them out there where they make a chicken sandwich like that. This comes in really well here. It just tried to put it on like heavy cream stuff like mac and cheese and stuff. The one thing you don't want to have is it getting lost. Like, you don't want your sauce vanishing too much in that setting. At least I don't. That's why I want a heavy vinegar hit. And this does have somewhat of a vinegar hit as well, but it doesn't work 1-to-1. I guess there's my fair comment for you. Okay, it doesn't work 1-to-1 with like a cayenne Louisiana style sauce. It's definitely its own thing, but this is I love cayenne. Okay, I love the really good cayenne Louisiana style sauces, but this, I would say, tastes as good as some of my favorites up near the top, and that's pretty rarefied air there. So for me, this is just another definite banger from Butterfly Bakery. I've been so impressed with almost everything I've had from them, and it's another part, I guess, of the debt of gratitude I owe the Hot Ones show for introducing me to so many of these makers and sauces that I honestly might not have ever come across without that show. And I'm greatly appreciative of that. This company is one of them. I'm going to continue to dig into their product line as much as I possibly can, and try to get more of their stuff for sure. Just because everything I've had from them, I'm trying to think. There's one I didn't like completely love, but most of the rest of them I've been really, really fond of. And I would add this as well. This is definitely another one. So I just that characteristic. Oh man, here's what you could really do. I was going to mention this. I'll mention this as a parting send-off. If you put a little bit of this, or even more than that, actually, it would probably take it, into a bowl of a nice tomato soup, you would have something magical, something majestic, especially if you paired yourself a nice grilled cheese to go with it and dip in. So there's my advice to you. Get a bottle of this and play around with it. Like, it goes in a lot of places. It's a tad too runny for me to use it much on pizza, but you saw it on that cheese stick. It stayed right on top. It didn't run over the side like you would see a typically, very loose, watery Louisiana style cayenne. So I would say, Butterfly Bakery is another one of my favorite nation hot sauce companies, and well worth a go, especially if you like vinegar forward sauces, and we'll just leave it right there. So that was the Butterfly Bakery Vermont Habs hot sauce. Now go in peace to serve the flame.